Hi juniors, welcome to the loops practice video. You can see this in the loops module. You can find it right here. While you're doing this, you can work on the loops outline and submit that once you're done. And you can do that while watching this video. After that, head over to the drills and debug and complete those. But for now, let's head over to PyCharm and let's start working on loops. There are two types of loops. There are while loops and then for loops. The while loop has the syntax that's very similar to the conditional statement. So if I have while our condition is I is less than 10, and then a colon, press enter, it'll tab it in, and then we have our code that it's going to run. So let's actually use this for our example. Let's set I to 0 right off the bat, because when we run this, it's going to be less than 10, so it'll run this code in here. And that code is going to be I is set to 10, sorry, I is set to I plus 1. And then we are going to print I. Now let's just break this down. It's going to see that I is 0, so it's going to run the code that's in here. It's going to take it and add one to itself and then print it. Now that the tab is done, it's going to go back and print that again and again and again, always adding this 1 right here until it doesn't hit this statement, until it doesn't hit this condition. That condition is while I is less than 10. And that's going to break as soon as it becomes 10. So let's just run this. It's going to print them all. And as you can see, I was 9. And then it's going to add 1, so it's 10. Prints it, so it's printing 10. And then once it goes back, it's realizing that, oh, it's 10. We're going to stop the code. That's called a break in the code. So that's the while loop. Now for the for loop is going to take things that are in a list. Let's create a list for this. We'll start with list is set to, and then if you don't remember how to do list, that's fine. You can just watch here. All right, so now that we have our list done, we will do for x in list. That is the syntax that we're going to be using. It's going to be for something in something, and this list is our variable. We're going to do the colon again, press enter. We're going to say print x. So let's print this. It's going to go in, do our code that we did before, and then it's going to have all of our list printing out. Now I'm going to make this a comment because I want to make sure it doesn't interfere with anything. So let's go up here and comment that out. And so now when we just run this, it's just our list statement here. And so you usually use for when you're going through a list. And in this example, it's doing every single one in the list. And now if I were to do x times 2, it's going to pretty much double it. So it's going to be like 1, 1, 2, 2, because I mean, these are strings. So now if this was like a bunch of numbers right here, it can go through the whole list and double them. So the ones that we had that are our numbers or integers are going to be doubled numerically. Now there's a really useful thing called break. So if you want to break something manually, in the while it broke it on itself, but we're going to break it manually. We can just set a break statement, and it's going to run it once, and it's going to break it instantly. But what if we want to break it later on in the code when it hits a certain condition? Well, we're going to go back to our condition statements. It's going to be if x ends up equaling 4, and remember we're going to do the string. If I were to do normal 4, it wouldn't read it because the numeric 4 and the string 4 are different. Then we're going to put our colon in break. So if x gets to 4, it's going to break. And so that's what it does. It goes, once it sees that the x it's about to print out is the 4, it's going to break. And this is after the print, so it's going to actually print that 4. If I were to remove this till after, it's going to print it, but after the break. So it's not going to actually print out the 4. It's going to stop it before you hit the 4. Now, any syntax errors would be, let's just say, forgetting the in, because that has to be in there, or misspelling a word, or not having, for example, the proper tab whenever you do it. Those are going to give you errors, and that wraps up the loops. If you have any questions, feel free to attend student hours or just send an email. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your day.